As Valerie said, we're going to be talking about predictions. Prediction. A prediction is a guess based off of clues in the text or pictures. In order to make a prediction, readers need to explain what they will believe will happen next before reading. Predictions can be done at the beginning or any time during a story. You can look at the cover. You can think about the title. You can look at the images. You can think about what you may already know, your prior knowledge. You can take a picture walk. You can do all these things to make predictions. Why should we make predictions? Thinking allows us to think ahead before reading. Gives us time to think about ideas that may happen throughout the text or make up our own thoughts of what we may know by our prior knowledge. To make the reader engaged. How do we make predictions during reading? Think about what may have already happened. Think about the key things that have already happened. Think about what has already happened to predict what's going to happen next, or maybe what's going to happen in the end. How do we check our predictions? We look back at the predictions and check our predictions to see if they were correct. Maybe talk to our friend about them. Let's look at an example of a prediction. Let's look at the cover of this book. What do you see? I think that it's going to be about what would you do if I were a dog? I think I would go fetch toys and maybe go run, play with my owner. What clues did you make to use a prediction? I used the bubble as a clue for thinking. That's what she is thinking. She is thinking that maybe she wants to go be a dog and she would go play. That's how I made my prediction. To make predictions, you look at the book's title, you look at the picture. We can maybe open the book and look through some pictures. Or we can think about our own prior knowledge. I have several dogs. Maybe my prior knowledge would give me the prediction of what this dog was about. To predict through the text, we would think about what we have previously read. We would think about what have been through with the main characters. Think what happened next with what you already have read. Once again, trying to predict the ending of the story. Right now, we're going to watch a small video of a fun way to remember how to do predictions. That was our little clip on predictions. Now we will move on to Caitlin.
Okay, students, today we are going to be doing the directed reading thinking activity. This activity is going to help you comprehend narrative fiction text while also learning how to make predictions. This book is called If You Were a Dog by Jamie A. Swenson and illustrated by Chris Rashika. You will be making predictions throughout the story with your graphic organizer that I handed out to you. I will be asking you to write down a couple sentences before we get started with the book. But first, with this title, what do you think the story is going to be about? I want you to write down your predictions on your graphic organizer using this sentence. I predict that blank will happen because blank in your reading journals. As I read the story, you will be able to change your predictions based on what you think will happen next in the story. You will be using this sentence to change your prediction. I wish to change my prediction to blank because blank. Write this in the next blank on your graphic organizer. I'll give you a couple minutes to write these sentences down and make your predictions before we get started reading the book. Okay, now let's read the book to find out what happens in the story and to see if the predictions you just wrote down you made were correct. As I am reading through the story, I'm going to make sure you understand what making predictions actually is. The dogs. There's a dog. Oh, you see a dog howling at the moon. Since you see the dog howling at the moon, what do you think is going to happen next in the story based on the dog howling at the moon? Oh, I see. Where did you get that idea from? I'll continue prompting questions like that throughout the story constantly to check to see if the students are listening and understand that making predictions is based on what happens next in the story. When I'm done reading the story, I am going to revisit with the students. Okay, students, we just finished reading If You Were a Dog. Did the predictions you wrote down about the story come true? If they did not come true, why did they not? Let's get some responses from the students. Okay, now let's write down this sentence in your journals. My prediction was confirmed when blank. Or if your prediction wasn't true, write down this sentence. My prediction was disconfirmed when blank. When you are all done writing down why your prediction came true or not, we will have some students share some predictions they made about the story at the beginning, what they thought would happen next, and if their prediction was true or not, and say why it was true or not.